Hey there, this is Jill Morris Smith, also known as the Savvy Servant, also known as a nonprofit expert, your nonprofit coach. So, if you are a nonprofit founder who has a nonprofit that has revenue under 50K, maybe even zero, you're in the right place at the right time. I'm your girl. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Share these videos, because I am on a mission to teach nonprofit founders how to develop their nonprofit organizations to secure six-figure grant funding. All right, that's who I am. You're in the right place. All right, so today, as promised, that you listen to my intro video. I want to make sure you know the 8 parts of a sustainable nonprofit. We're talking about just to sustain. So if you don't have these 8 parts in place, you're not even at the place to sustain. All right, so before I give these 8 parts to you, I want to strongly recommend that you take my free, no cost, no obligation, 3-hour nonprofit development training. All right, it is vital. It is vital that you take this training, because some of the things that I'm sharing here is going to go over your head if you don't know fully what I'm talking about. So I encourage you, I highly advise that you go take that training. You can access it at my website, www.thesavvyservant.com. All right, the 8 parts. There are 8 parts of a nonprofit structure, an organizational structure that is needed in order to sustain. That is what I like to say, in order to even be taken seriously. And so I'm going to go over those 8 parts in this video. And if you are struggling in any part of these areas, I'm here to help. All right. There's going to be tons of videos here, if not already here. And yeah, you're in the right place. All right. So the very first thing, these are not in order. They all work in tandem. They all work together. It's like part of a body. So they're not in any particular order, but they kind of are, but kind of not. But yeah, they're all vital. All right. So the very first one is vision mission. All right, vision mission. If you don't know what you see, how you want your nonprofit to be within the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, you need to be clear on your vision. You need to be very clear on your vision, as well as the mission. How are you going to do this? So the vision says, what do you see? The mission says, how you going to get about doing what you see? All right. So if you're not clear with a clear vision and mission statement, you ain't going too far. All right. So that is the very first vital part. All right. The second is that you need board advisors, board members / advisors. Basically, you need people that are smarter than you in areas that you need help. All right, all right, so I have a mic here just to off topic. I have a microphone here, so it feels a little uncomfortable, and I'm feeling like it's gonna unclip and go down my shirt, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to continue to act as if it's not there, but just so you know, if you see a bulk there, that's a microphone. All right, so you need a group of advisors, a board members and advisors that is going to basically keep you out of jail. They are going to keep you out of jail. You're required as a nonprofit organization to have board members. Advisors are those extra people, your attorney, your accountant, that's going to make sure you're in compliance. But your board members are those people who are there to ensure that again, that you are following the guidelines. Say if you're going to get grants, which you are, to make sure that everything is in order, and so that you are doing the right thing. It's like they're like your checks and balances. I like to call them your big sisters, your big brothers. They got your back. All right. Third thing, you need operations. You need operations. You need some operations in place. And so that includes a whole plethora of things, including you need manpower. So I'm assuming that as the nonprofit founder, you're taking some type of leadership role in your organization. Maybe you, the executive director, or maybe director of programs, or maybe you're even the CFO. Whatever that is, you need to have proper operations in place. You need to have a proper operational structure in place. You need to have, as I said, you need help. And so if you are relying on your board members to do operational things, you are already out of order. And so you definitely need to stick around, definitely need to take that 3-hour training, because you are already out of order. Your board members are not there to be your secretary or be your assistant. That is totally a conflict of interest, and you need to have other type of help. And so if you cannot afford, probably not, to hire anybody, that's why you need you need to make sure you have volunteers in place. You need to make sure you have some type of volunteer program in place. All of that, I got you covered. All right. The fourth thing, programs. Without a vital program, at least one program, you don't have a nonprofit. Your program, let me just tell you, is the heartbeat of your nonprofit. Your nonprofit's funding is based on the strength of your program or programs, because you can have, of course, more than one. So if you don't have some type of structured program in place, you need to get it as soon as possible. I can help you with that. Fifth thing, funding. You can't do none of this without funding. So you need to have all types of funding. You need to have multiple funding sources in place. In addition to grants, you need to get your individual donor database up. You need sponsorships. You need product sales. You can do fee for service. There's so many ways that you can raise funds. And so that is the fifth part that you need in place. The sixth part, you need outreach and partnerships. All right, you need other organizations out there, other government agencies that's going to work in tandem with you to make sure that you get clients, make sure that you're serving your clients in a holistic approach. Say, for instance, you have a program for or say you have a reentry program. You're aiding those who are just getting out of jail, from being incarcerated. They're just getting out, and you're trying to help them get on their feet, or your program is to aid them to get on their feet. And say one of the first things they need is a driver's license or ID, a government ID. So maybe you can have a partnership with the Department of Motor Vehicles, so that there's a set day time where your clients can go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and get their ID without hassle. So you need those partnerships. Also, say you have a reentry program and you're trying to make sure that your clients are, excuse me, getting their parental affairs in order. You may have a partnership with the local child support enforcement office. And so you may have a partnership with them, so that you can be in conversation and communication that your client is doing the things he or she needs to do to get their livelihood up and their income up, so that they can make the payments or whatever to child support. And so you're working in tandem. And so those partnerships are vital. Seventh thing is PR marketing. If no one knows you exist, how are you going to make an argument for funding? You got to be serving people. You got to, the community needs to know that you exist. That's one of the reasons why I started my consulting, because I saw there was a need to help nonprofits with their PR marketing. Because let me just tell you, for the most part, grant funds cannot be used for PR marketing. So you've got to be creative. Thankfully, thank you, Lord, that now social media is like in it, like really is all the PR marketing you need. But you also need website and all that stuff. So your PR marketing is vital. It is a vital part of your nonprofit. And so if you are not getting the word out about your nonprofit, then that part of the body is not functioning, which will have an effect on every other part. And then the eighth part is a part that is, I don't want to say it's new, but it's on the rise since social media has come to be. So these days, people are not supporting organizations as much as they're supporting people. So people are supporting people of organizations, not so much the organization as a whole. So with that being said, your story, if your nonprofit is based on your testimony or your story, then that is the part that really needs to be structured. It needs to be promoted. It needs to be in your mission, in your vision. That needs to be, you need to position yourself as the spokesperson for your organization, because that is where you're going to start to pull at the heartstrings of your stakeholders, those who want to donate to you, your grantors, those who want to be in partnership with you, those who want to sponsor you. That's where you'll get that connection. And so if you don't have a good way of telling your story or your testimony, if your nonprofit is based on your story, or if it's based on a loved one's story, you definitely need to develop in that area. So those are the 8 areas that are the 8 parts that will help to sustain your nonprofit. Now, you can have all 8 of these in place, but all 8 of these parts need to be, like, you got to work them, all 8 parts. And so though, but these are the 8 parts that will sustain your nonprofit. All right, so that's it for me. Of course, I'll drop some more knowledge in another video. I highly encourage you to take the 3-hour training. You can go access that at my website, www.thesavvyservant.com. And please subscribe. Turn on your notifications so that you can get this information I'm dropping. Because, yeah, we're going to go get that funding this year. All right. There's lots of grant funding out there. There's lots of individual donor funding out there. And so if you are not tapping into it, but before you tap into it, you want to make sure you tapping in right. If you're not tapping into it, you are leaving money on the table. So I want to help you get that money so that you can impact communities, change lives, and make this world a better place. All right. So it's really, like, it's so fulfilling to serve. And so yeah, the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. All right. So I'll see you in another video. All right. Be blessed. Bye bye.